Here, my friend. We are back live here on our big broadcast. We are coast to coast. We are border to border on iHeartRadio today. Also, AMFM247.com. The Mix on Tuesdays. And, of course, 990 WBOB out there in Rhode Island, of all places. Yes, Rhode Island. We have got a great guest with us today. They join us live here on Skype, here via the magic of the old skip Skype. Yes, the Skype-a-rooney. And we have got a great guest with us today. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend.
Okay, I'm Kelly. I'm with Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers, and we are a bluegrass Americana group out of Orange County, California, and it's that's who we are.
That's awesome.
We've been together for since 2016, doing this. Me and my sister together have been doing music together for that. Actually, longer than that in different groups, but this group in specific.
That's awesome.
Since 2016. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how did the group get together? Tell me a little bit about the whole thing of how you guys got together and the whole 9 yards.
Okay, well, my sister, we're sisters. We are truly sisters. She and I started singing when we were little kids, and about 10 years ago, I started writing music. And so we had done all sorts of other music, swing, blues, just a whole variety of different kinds of styles. And so I started writing music, and then that's when we sort of decided to start forming this other band called Smith Sisters and Sunday Drivers. And so, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about your musical heroes and influences.
Okay. Well, my dad is probably our biggest influence. He was actually in 1951. Well, okay, before that, he was in movies and TV as a child, as a singer. He was in all their movies that are still shown today.
Wow.
Like on, Turner broadcast movies and things like that.
Wow.
He was in over 20 motion pictures with people like Lucille Ball, Mickey Rooney, just
Holy
a whole bunch
smokes.
of famous people, big time famous. He actually met Liz Taylor. She actually kissed him. he was like 12
awesome.
and she was like 14.
That's
I
awesome.
know. So, but anyway, he was in all sorts of those old movies that are they're classics. In fact, I think he was in 3 Academy Award-winning movies.
Wow.
He sang in a boys' choir, and then he grew up, and he ended up after
and then he grew up. That is amazing. Did all that, and then he grew up, and he had a whole bunch of other stuff he did.
Well, there's other stuff. Okay, so my dad became he went to into the military.
Okay.
And he was a singer, obviously, and he joined the choir, the army band.
Oh yeah, the army choir
and
or whatever.
they ended up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
So yeah, the army band.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he ended up becoming part of their band, and then he got asked to be in a radio show that was. It was like everybody who is in their 80s, 90s, they know what this show was because people sat around the radio and listened. And it's kind of like America's Got Talent or American Idol. But in radio, back then, they had a radio contest that went around the country. And they would, do shows in different cities. And my dad would travel with them. And
Wow.
He actually even had a salary through them, even though he still was working, he was still in the Army. And so the show was called the Horace Heidt Radio Show. And if you're interested in that, which I'm sure
yeah.
you are, being in radio, it was like the biggest thing. There's a man, Horace Heidt. He has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So, I mean, it's not like
Wow.
just a small thing. It was huge. And so my dad was the grand prize winner. In 1951, so he was kind of like Kelly Clarkson,
That's awesome.
So, so that's how we started our our interest in music was we used to listen to them on records as little kids, and we just idolized our dad. So
that's awesome. That is
yeah.
fantastic. So, if people want to find you guys online or buy your music or something, how do they do this exactly?
Okay, we are everywhere. We are SmithSistersandTheSundayDrivers.com. That's our website.
Okay.
We're on all forms of social media, so be sure to follow us. All of our music is streaming and downloadable pretty much everywhere. If you want to get physical CDs, you can, check out our website. We'll make sure you get them. And yeah, that's about where you can find us. We're everywhere.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
and, YouTube and all that stuff too.
So, I want to go to this first, if I can pull it up here so I can figure out just what the heck we're doing here. We have got Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers join us today here on our Sunday radio broadcast. You're joining us on 990 WBOB out there in Rhode Island, of all places, and, of course, the mix on Tuesdays, AMFM247.com. So, this first song that I was going to play here, Elvis on the Jukebox. Tell us a little bit about this tune, and then we'll play it here.
Okay, so this was the first song I ever wrote, and you're not going to believe it, but I'm just kidding. I wrote it when I turned 50.
Wow.
So I'm a little bit older, but not that old. But anyway, so I wrote it it was the very first song I ever wrote, and it was a story that my brother, that happened to my brother on his 40th birthday, and it was basically, we went to a restaurant, a pizza joint to celebrate his birthday. We got there, the place was closed, but they told us to come in. And so they said, just come on in. So it was a pizza place. So we ordered pizza and beer and all that stuff, sat down. And as soon as we sat down, and there was no one in the place except for the 3 workers, that were still cleaning up. And so my brother opens up a present because he was like this huge Elvis fan. I mean, huge, since he was a little kid. And so we bought him a gas station attendant shirt with a little Elvis shirt that had the patch that said Elvis on it.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So what happened was as he's opening it, it was like instantaneous. As he was opening it, all of a sudden, way across the room was a jukebox, and it made that sound like it's turning itself on, like like it was turning up, and then all of a sudden it played Hound Dog.
Wow.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, we were all freaking out at the table because it happened like the same second, and so he ends up, I'm like, oh my gosh, to the waitresses, you guys, did you just see that? Did you hear that? They said, oh yeah, this happens all the time. It happens at night, plays Elvis over and over, et cetera, et cetera. So he ends up, so the music ends up playing, and I'm going to write a song about it.
Yeah.
So I ended up writing a song about it about 10 years later.
Wow.
And so this is the first song.
Well, we are going to do this. I'm going to place you on a brief hold here on Skype. We're going to play the tune, and when we come back, we will have more with Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers, and it is a fabulous tune. It is
Elvis on the jukebox, no one else around. We walked in and sat down. The place was empty, no one in town. It was cold out, snow on the ground. My brother's birthday, we gathered round. Elvis on the jukebox, no one else around. Stood at the counter, 2 girls were there. Got a pizza, 3 large and beer. Out of the jukebox, Hound Dog arose. Was a king there, and doors are closed. Elvis on the jukebox, no one else around. I never would have dreamt it, no doubt about it, it's true. That king of rock and roll was playing on the jukebox the whole night through. The room was quiet when on it came. On the jukebox, no one to blame. We looked around, but no one there. Out of the silence from thin air, Elvis on the jukebox, no one else around. Hit it, boys. No doubt about it, it's true.
No doubt about it, no doubt about it.
The king of rock and roll was playing on the jukebox the whole night through. Then they told us a little more to the story we knew before. You see this happen once or twice on the jukebox only at night. Elvis on the jukebox, no one else around. Elvis on the jukebox, no one else around. It was Elvis on the jukebox, no one else around.
That is Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers, Elvis on the Jukebox. And we are going to go back to Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. There we are. Okay. We are back live here on our big broadcast. And that, of course, was Elvis on the Jukebox. So tell me a little bit about what you guys have planned coming up, what you have happening.
Okay, well, we are actually in the recording process right now.
Okay.
We have another single coming out, and it will be probably out in a couple months. Let me tell you this. Okay, so we originally, played live a lot, and then COVID hit. Obviously, many people stopped, playing live. Well, we ended up meeting several people because I'm a Grammy voting member.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I know a lot of musicians, and in different states and things like that, and in Nashville. And so I ended up reaching out to a few, and we had some of the top players record for us. Our family was kind of going through a time too where we were, not only COVID, but we were caring for our mom who had Alzheimer's. Yeah. So, like my husband and I lived with her during the week, every week. Yeah, for 18 months. So we kind of had to put the live performances on the, back burner for a little while. And so we met, and recorded with a bunch of great musicians. And so we continued our recording. So we were recording like once every 3 months. And so we have a lot of music through that. But now we're getting to where we're going to get back into recording or performing again live. So, so in the meantime, though, we are recording and we're doing some bluegrass meetups with some people. So, so that's kind of what our plan is right now.
That is awesome. We have got Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers joining us today here on our big program. So you're a Grammy voting individual. Tell me a little bit about this. This is pretty badass.
Yeah. Well, about 6 or 7 years ago, we had recorded with a guy that did some of our mastering of our music, and so he said, I said, gosh, and it was actually right after our dad had passed away. We had done a song, and I was rushing to get the song, complete, and found out that he was actually another friend of mine was a voting member, and she was going to submit it. And so we took it to him to have it mastered. And he said, well, I'm a voting member too. And he said, I could get this on the Grammy ballot. I said, Are you serious? Because it was a song that we wrote about our dad, and he had just passed away. And I thought, gosh, that would be so awesome, to be able to get some of his music on the Grammy ballot. So that's what we did. And he said to me, he said, I could help you. He said, I could refer you as a voting member. And so we had enough songs, and I had the criteria musically to become one. And so it was a long process. It's not easy to become a voting member, but they ended up, saying yes to me. And so I became one, and basically for the last 6 or 7 years, I can't remember exactly, it's 6 or 7. I've been, part of the process of I can submit music, my own music, I can submit other people's music, and then I can vote. So we vote on all of the, like all the people that you see on TV, and there's, by the way, there's like 90 categories. It's not just the 4 they show on TV. So it's a lot of, like, I have to listen to, as much music as I possibly can, and in the categories that are ones that I'm, a professional in. Yeah. And then I vote. And so I cast my vote, and there's, I think, about 3,000 of us voting members. So whenever they say, I'd like to thank the Academy, or, that's who they're referring to, is other professionals in their field that vote for them. And it's pretty serious. Cool. I mean, you want to, really listen and pick the best of the best. And that's what I try and do. So
that is awesome.
Yeah.
So the next track we're going to hear, "The Road to Rosie McCann." I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yes. You did.
Tell us a little bit about this tune, and then we'll play it.
Okay. So this song is about my dad. He actually, like I said, our dad's a huge influence. Obviously, we write a lot of music about our parents. Well, I had written a song called 32 Steps, which is about my dad, because he had a plan to go to Northern California to visit a friend of his at a bar. And he was staying with my sister, and he was, going up the stairs. He was going to go upstairs for something, and he was crawling up the stairs because he had bad legs. He was 86, And so he was literally crawling up the stairs, and my sister said to him, "Dad, are you okay?" And he said, "Yes, I'm okay." And she said, "Why are you crawling up the stairs?" He said, "Because I'm going to a bar in San Jose. I think it was San Jose or Northern California." And he said, he was going to meet his friend, and he had to climb up these stairs, and he's old and he had leg trouble. And so he said that he was basically working out, like, getting in shape to go to this bar to meet his friend. So I thought it was funny. So I wrote a song about him. Then my dad, on the same day that I was telling him the lyrics, he started laughing. He says to me, "Oh my gosh," he goes, "I gotta go." And so he hung up the phone. He called me back about an hour later, and he said, I wrote a song, but it's my version of the song." And so he ended up writing this song, and we laughed, but he didn't complete it. Well, he ends up passing away before he could complete it. Right? So I was just like, we were devastated, but I told my sister Wendy, I said, we ended up going to his house, found the lyrics in his office. They were on the top of his outbox. I grabbed them, and I said, "Wendy, I think you need to finish the song for him." Well, she had never written a song ever. Kind of like me, just never did it. And she literally took the dad's song, which most of it's his, but she wrote the remaining lyrics and completed the tune. So that's what the song is, "Road to Rosie McCann."
Awesome. Well, we're going to do this. I'm going to place you on another brief hold here on Skype. We're going to play the tune, and when we come back, we will have more with the Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. And it is on your big, big broadcast. It is the Sunday Radio Show.
I've been a long, long time on the road to Rosie McCann. Have a shower, put some gel in my hair at the motel where I am. It's a big long bar in Santa Cruz. I don't go for the food, I go for the booze. Been a long, long time on the road to Rosie McCann. I visualize that picture of her. Man, she looks so fine. She reminds me of Jane Seymour, that movie Somewhere in Time. I'd like to see that girl on the wall, climb 32 steps if I have to crawl. Been a long, long time on the road to Rosie McCann. Climb 21 steps and 11 more. Look at my watch, 3:45. Way overdue for happy hour. Think I'm gonna have my first whiskey and sour. Hey, somebody bring me a drink.
It's coming, honey.
Been a long, long time on the road to Rosie McCann. Quite a hike to meet my buddy Mike. I'll get there when I can. It's great to be alive, all to say. Think I'm gonna have my first IPA. Been a long, long time on the road to Rosie McCann. Climb 21 steps and 11 more. Look at my watch, 3:45. Way overdue for happy hour. What the heck happened to my whiskey and sour? Hey, where's my drink?
Cool your jets, Freddy boy.
Been a long, long time on the road to Rosie McCann. It's quite a hike to meet my buddy Mike. I'll get there when I can. It's great to be alive, all to say. Think I'm gonna have another IPA. Been a long, long time on the road to Rosie McCann. I've been a long, long time on the road to Rosie McCann. I've been a long, long time on the road to Rosie McCann.
That is a fantastic tune, and we are going to go back live to our guest. It is, of course, 36 minutes after the hour. Thanks for joining us. You are listening to the world-famous KJAG Experience each and every Sunday over there on, I almost said Radio Xenu, but 990 WBOB out there in Rhode Island. We are also live on the Mix on Tuesdays. And, of course, you can find us over there at JGYJGUAR.com, and the fantastic Kelly Lewis is with us today. Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. And so you guys, how would you describe your music for someone who's never heard you guys before?
And maybe you can tell me if you think this is true, just from what you've heard. Okay. I think we are bluegrass / American roots.
Oh, you're definitely bluegrass.
Yeah.
You're definitely freaking bluegrass, I'll have to say.
Yeah. And it's all kind of different, though. I mean, if you listen to like our whole catalog, you would be like, whoa. Yep. I mean, because it's totally different. We've done swing trio, like three girls,
Yes.
So you kind of hear a variety of different things. Like we have different influences. So, yeah. But that's what I would say: bluegrass, American roots. Actually, my dad, before he passed away, he said, Kelly, your original music is really more so bluegrass. So that's when he said that. I said, and then he passed away. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna do that. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We have got a great guest with us today. Join us live here on our big broadcast. And so what are some of the some of the like trials and tribulations that you guys have gone through when you put your music together, or have you had any issues in the studio? Kind of talk to us about the hard life of a musician.
Actually, to be honest with you, we've had a lot of really great, I mean, like unbelievable opportunities. I mean, we've been on TV. We played at Disneyland. So many different things. I mean, I can't even think of them right now. Oh, performing arts centers. We've done different car shows. I mean, just a ton of different things. We've been on TV specials, all kinds of things. So we've had a lot of great success. But as far as like being a musician, it's not like it's, unless you're performing a lot, it's not like a high paying kind of thing. You think, oh my goodness, we have great music, so that's kind of one of the downfalls. As far as, studio, we have great studios that we work with, and we really don't have many problems, except for maybe like a glitch or two here and there, but everything's, knock on wood, has come out really great product. So we've been, I don't know, I guess we have God on our side. So
that's awesome.
Well, we do have God on our side. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been really great.
So this final tune that we have here today, this is we have got Kelly Lewis with us today, Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers, Pennies on the Ground. Tell me a little bit about Pennies on the Ground, and then we'll play it here in a few moments.
Okay. So Pennies on the Ground is a song again. This one it must be a theme. Is written about our dad. Basically, his mom used to find pennies on the ground that would make her think of her parents. And then my dad, he started doing the same thing, finding pennies on the ground. He put them in his pockets. Well, when he passed away, we found all of these pennies everywhere, like in his jackets, in his pants, his shirts, everywhere. And so we're like, okay, so we of course, continued that thing where every time we find pennies, but there were also things like butterflies and hummingbirds that reminded us of him. Shortly after he passed away, I mean, crazy things would happen with these, three different things. And so I ended up writing a song about it. It was on different walks that I would take, or in my, kitchen or in the living room. I would see different things, and it always reminded me of him. So that's kind of what that song's about.
That's awesome. Well, we are going to do this. We're going to place you on a brief hold. We are going to play this tune. And when we come back, we are going to wrap things up here with Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. Right
Just
now, Pennies on the Ground.
Window. Thanks for the reminders, the pennies on the ground. Hummingbirds fly up to me when no one's around. A butterfly, he follows me everywhere I go. On my walk, on my porch, just outside my window.
that
You're
was kind of
gonna love it.
Yes, we are gonna love it. That was kind of interesting the way that song ended. I guess we'll have to talk to her about this. Get a hold of us online over there at JiggyJaguar.com. We are going to go back to our guest. The fantastic Kelly Lewis is with us, Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. So, something I noticed about that song is it just ends.
Yeah.
It's going along and it's just gone.
Yeah, you're going to notice.
What in the hell is going on with this? What? Why is this happening?
Well, we do this a lot. We at least me. I like to have songs like unexpected things. Like there's a song called "Quitter" that we do, and it really ends abruptly.
It really ends abruptly.
And the words are it's like he's a quitter. And that's how it ends. It's like just, he's a quitter.
Wow.
I don't know. I like the idea of ending things, differently than what people expect. So.
Hey, that's awesome. I love that because it's memorable. It's memorable. I have various artists that we've interviewed on this show, and sometimes that's what happens. It just ends. The song's just over.
It catches you off guard, doesn't it?
Before we let you go, how do we get in touch with you online and buy your music and get involved with what you guys are doing online?
Okay. Well, we are at Smith Sisters and the SundayDrivers.com.
Okay.
And we're on all forms of social media. Facebook, Twitter, the big ones. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Our music is available everywhere. Anywhere you stream, you can stream us or download us. And we do have music available on our website. So, and that's www.smithsistersandthesundayDrivers.com. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
I appreciate you having us on.
You guys are fantastic. This has definitely been a pretty cool little deal. I really appreciate you guys making time for us today, and thanks for joining us. Thanks for being on with us today. There she goes. I think because I removed her from the chat, it got rid of her. I don't know. We're gonna see. Maybe she'll. That was kind of an interesting deal. I was taking a risk. There, but we thank you for joining us here on our big broadcast. So that is going to wrap it up here.